Καλώς βρήκαμε. Hey, thank you everybody for joining us. We're gonna give people just a couple of seconds to come in. What a big show we got today.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yes, but before we get started, hey, I just want to just ask everybody who's watching to make sure if you like our content, make sure you share it. And I guess I gotta turn this off, don't I? Okay. Yeah, I know, really. If you like our content, please make sure you share it. And especially on Facebook and YouTube, we're on both those platforms. But we've got a huge show, big show today.
Yes, we do.
And so welcome to episode 32 of Cooking with Greek People. And we have two great guests today. We have, first up is the creators of my favorite YouTube channel, Ancient Greece Revisited. Michael and Adam will be joining us, two of the creators of the show. And then afterwards, we will make porto calopita with
sounds good to me.
I know with Chef Panos, who will also talk to us about sustainable tourism in Greece. So we're going to bring before we get going, I'm going to bring on our friends, but I want to talk to them first about this. So I'm going to make a little introduction, but I want you guys to see them. This is and I'm paraphrasing here. Ancient Greece Revisited, it promises to bring to life a vision of Greece against the whitewashed version of British Hellenism made universal to this day. And this is a quote from Ancient Greece Revisited, or paraphrase. They do this with the most engaging storytelling and beautiful images and original topics that I've ever seen. Topics like, were Greeks colorblind? The God that bled? The music of the spheres? It's just, Argonautica Rhapsody about Jason and the Argonaut. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
That is absolutely my favorite. So I love it. So, gosh, okay, I'm gonna just go to the two of us now and say, Ancient Greece Revisited, welcome, Michael and Adam. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
So many questions.
Yes.
in big font and little font. And so
you can tell we're fans.
We're big fans of the show and of your talent. And there's you can't confuse the show with another show. The prose, it's almost like it's almost like these it's like but iconography. What is that? I'm not saying it right. It's everything about it, directly from the prose to the art to the direction of the show and how it's just beautiful.
It really is, yeah.
How did you do this? How did this happen?
Thank you very much for all this, first of all. It's a product of the two of us. Me, I'm responsible for the prose, and I'm obviously the presenter of the show as well. And I'm the original inceptor. So I thought about it, I developed it in my mind. And once I came back to Greece, because I was living abroad for many years, I met a partner in crime, Adamantios Petritzis, who's a director, and became the director of this show, director, editor, visual, everything that's visual, And we've been live for a little over a year now on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, we're Rosa, why don't you come in here, and Katerina, come in here. Grab another chair, Katerina, and from the kitchen. And we have Rosa here, and she's one of the co-hosts of the show. Our show is based around trying to keep the kids within the Greek community here kind of connected with their roots in Greece. So you guys do a tremendous help in helping that happen. So you had this idea, you guys kind of initiated it and kind of put it together yourselves. And there are some topics here that I just find I just haven't heard before.
Yeah.
You know, there were some topics that almost feel like they were on the Joe Rogan show, right? And I know you and I had talked about that.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
Yeah, and
if I may interrupt you before you begin, because what you're about to say is basically the reason why I got so involved in the project at the first place. Because originally I met Michalis about a year and a half ago through a producer that I'm working with, a partner of mine. And basically we met, he told me his idea. He wanted to shoot in the beginning 3 episodes to have like a pilot guide for whatever happens in the future. And he sent me the scripts. So instantly from the beginning, when I read them, I saw that there was something different in the whole approach, in the way he presented the subjects, not in the subjects itself, as in the subjects were not unique on their own, but the approach to each subject was unique, and it's what makes it's the basis of the show, and it's what makes it so great. I think that the way Michalis sees each concept is different from what we are used to, and opens up another perspective, let's say.
Yeah,
let me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, look.
This is very interesting, because in the beginning, when I was presenting the show, I was saying, you know, it's about different topics or marginal topics or very original topics on ancient Greece, and he actually corrected me in one presentation we were giving, and he said, no, the topics are well known. They're the standard topics that you learn about in school. It's the way in which we approach them that's original. And it's something clicked. It's almost like I understood my own mission.
Yeah.
Moment, you know, because, you know, everyone is trying to do something groundbreaking all the time, especially you see it in art, you know, well, it's more important, I think, nowadays to go back and revisit and say, these things that we think we know, do we know them? And what do they mean? Rather than trying to uncover something that no one has heard about before, you know. So I almost understood what we were doing as we were presenting the show one day.
Well, for both of you, what is your background? Is there a philosophy background? I think, Michael, you mentioned you were in the technology field.
Yeah. So me personally, I was I was and still am, I guess, a software developer, engineer, and through, you know, both, I guess, training and profession. And while Adam here was he was doing what he was doing.
My background is in filmmaking, and with a brief period of a startup in tourism as well.
Well, there's two things that really show. One is the filmmaking. Well, I mean, both of you seem to have a love for philosophy, Greek history, and the way you organize your thoughts into these, both visually and in the written word, is just incredible. There's a couple of topics, because we're going to have about a half an hour today, but I want to have another. I could just do 90 minutes with probably 2 hours with you guys, just sitting down with us and asking questions. But there's a couple of topics that I never really heard before, and I'm going to paraphrase them. One was, there was a link between, you described a link between the matrix. If you lived in the matrix, you would want to be a programmer. That's how you would control it.
Yeah.
If you live in the real world, you want to understand philosophy, because the world of ideas is how we program in this. I'm probably not saying it right, and I'll give you, but I want you to expand on that a little bit, because I just find it so fascinating. I've never heard that before.
No, you actually gave me one more detail that I can add, because that's one of the ways that I found to answer, a question that comes back, and it's a very legitimate question, like why bother? Why bother with ancient Greece, or why bother with philosophy? Why study philosophy? It sounds tedious and complicated and boring, and there's all these interesting things you can do in quote unquote the real world. So why study? Why read a book that's going to tire you? And I guess, even myself some years ago, if you were to ask me, I would have told you, why should you read philosophy? I'd probably tell you, given you the standard answer, because it's important to know what the great thinkers of the past have said and done, etc., etc. But this is not the answer that I understand now. And the answer that I understand now, just quoting me, is the analogy of the matrix. Is to see through the matrix is the answer why you should study philosophy. And the way I understand it is this, in The Matrix, the film The Matrix, 1999, I guess most people have seen it, but even for those who haven't seen it, the story is about a character who is trapped inside of a computer program, essentially, right? He lives in a virtual reality that he mistakes for the real reality. He thinks and it was interesting how there was a whole little set of films that came out during this time, like the Truman Show, and that were like questioning whether we live in the real world or not. So the Matrix was perhaps the best of that genre. And it's very interesting to me how the character, like the screenwriters, chose to make that character a computer programmer, a software engineer like myself. And they gave him a very stereotypically, negative kind of working in a little cubicle, dressed in like a boring suit, just like a nerd. They gave him a very stereotypical. But in any case, he was a computer programmer by day and a computer hacker by night. Okay, so by night he was using his computer skills to uncover some hidden truth about his world that even he did not know what that was, but he had a sense that the world that he's living is not the real world, or that it could have been otherwise, and he also had a sense that this has something to do with computers. And he was right. It just that the real reality was so groundbreakingly different that he couldn't even imagine. So he has to almost be rescued from that world. But his instinct was correct, although he couldn't articulate it. He could not say this world is a simulation. He knew that there was something weird about this normality, and that something had to do with computer programs. So here's the metaphor. I don't think we're living in a computer simulation myself. I know Elon Musk does, but we'll see. Maybe he knows something we don't. But we do live in a world that's made up of ideas. We don't live in a world necessarily, at least, that's made up of computer. We live in a world that's made up of ideas. The world that we live in, things that masquerade as common sense. If you try and unpack the things that most people call common sense, you'll find that they're neither common nor do they make sense. They are ideas, and these ideas came from somewhere. They were first thought from some person. So when you understand this history, when it's almost like you understand where all the pieces of your world come from. Okay, so then you can have some mastery over them. They don't control you as much. Or perhaps even if you're one of these special people like Neo in the Matrix, you'll be one of the Descartes or Rousseau's or Socrates of this world. Maybe you can even program it, just like Neo did. So that is the metaphor, and you just gave me a little piece at the end saying we're programmed by ideas, which I guess is exactly what.
Well, that's what I got out of it. You had I think I've only seen one interview with you, and it was on.
I had to in mind because it's good to have these fundamental questions. Sometimes you get absorbed so much in what you're doing that you forget why you're doing. So it's good when people kind of remind you. They ask you like, why are you bothering? It's a good question. You shouldn't dismiss it as someone that just doesn't understand.
This is the best answer I've ever had to why study philosophy, or why study psychology. This is a psychology major here. It's like, why study psychology? Why study philosophy? Why study these kind of like, I always think of them as kind of like soft subjects rather than engineering and things like that. And this has been the best answer I've ever heard, because you give the example of the Matrix. If you're living in a video game, you want to be a coder.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're living in reality, the code is the idea. So you got to study how you come up with these ideas, and how did other people come up with them? How did the great philosophers over time come up with them? So I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah, and how did we inherit it? The problem here is that, because in a certain sense, philosophy has declined. It's not what it once was, and science has taken over so much, and our world is so technological, and science is ever present, so that we have forgotten that science too was invented. Science is also based on certain assumptions about reality, certain ideas. A way to interpret the world is what gives science its structure, which scientists don't like very much, because they like to think that their method is like the ultimate tool to understand reality. And I'm talking about the proverbial science. Most actual scientists that I've met are very humble, okay, because they confront the limits of their knowledge daily. But the proverbial kind of scientist, is someone who thinks that he has the ultimate tool to understand reality, and whatever his instruments tell them, that is what's going on. But these instruments are based on certain assumptions about how the world is, and these assumptions were ultimately thought by some people, like perhaps Descartes, like Newton, who were philosophers first. They called themselves philosophers. Newton was a philosopher. He was not a scientist. So he thought about how the world is first in his head, and then created the tools to materialize this idea, if that makes sense.
It does. And I think, well, I want to kind of touch on a couple of other topics as well, because you've touched on everything from where Greeks colorblind to, like I said, the music of the spheres, and there's Rosa's a mathematician, so she's a math major. So one of the things I don't think you've watched this episode, the episode with the spheres, because it really kind of touches on some real interesting stuff. But I got to tell you, one of my favorite ones was, this is a quote from an Egyptian priest to Solon. You Greeks are eternal children. And talk about that a little bit, because it's not how the way the classical world, thought of them, or our world really thinks of them. But it brings up such a good point about forgotten history, how we forget, and whether it was, and even during medieval times, how the Greek history was really suppressed during Turkish occupation, during we almost had to rediscover it from other sources, and it looks like that's not the first time that's happened to us.
No, it's an interesting connection you've made there. Actually, we can go off in many tangents, but just this quote, the Έλληνες αηπέδες este, it was written down by Plato, who told the story of Atlantis. So the episode that we're referring, we have an episode on Atlantis, and Atlantis is essentially mentioned in 2 books from Plato, which might as well be one book. It's like part 1 and 2. So that's how the myth of Atlantis came to be. It was not, like I said in the video, it was not a staple of Greek mythology. It was almost like a Platonic myth, okay? And the story that Plato gave, the background to that story, that Solon was a historical person, a real person, who was one of the first legislators of ancient Athens that paved the way towards democracy. His famous laws opened the way to the great democracy of the 5th century. And the story that we're even taught in school, because it's such an interesting story, relating to the Greek character as well, is that once Solon created his laws, he knew that if he stayed around in Athens, they would twist his arm, as they say, to change him. Because always when you start a new system, someone feels left out, someone feels privileged, someone feels disprivileged. So as perfect as he made the laws, he knew that some people would try to force him to revoke some of his laws. So he left. And that's in historical records. Apparently, that's not. We're not even in the myth yet, So he left Athens and he traveled the world. He went to, some say India, some say Egypt, and then he made the Athenians swear to the gods that they were not going to revoke his laws for 10 years. He said, "I'm going to be back in 10 years, and you've got to swear that," because he knew that these things have to run a little bit, like a new government. You have to give it some breathing room to see. And so in one of his journeys, as he was self-exiled to protect his new regime that he had established, he went to Egypt, where perhaps history mixes with legend, and Solon is supposed to have met some Egyptian priests in a temple of Sais in the delta of Egypt, where the goddess that was worshipped was also understood to be the goddess Athena, or her equivalent. So Solon was from Athens, the city of Athena. The priests were from Sais, the goddess, the Egyptian equivalent of Athena. So they felt like spiritual brethren. And so the Egyptian priest told Solon the story of Atlantis. And they began by saying this: "You Greeks are eternal children." Because it's hard for us to understand that for the Greeks, there were ancient things as well. The distance between ourselves and Solon is about 2,500 years. That is almost the same as between Solon and the first pyramid, which is, from what I understand, 3,500 BC is the first pyramid. So it's a little, so between us and the first pyramid, ancient Greece is almost in the middle, just to put things in perspective.
Right. No, that's an interesting perspective, because it, when there's so many video games that have come out that deal with ancient Greece, like Assassin's Creed and God of War, things like that. So it for children that are, my kids are 21 and 24, 5, 20, I don't know.
He's 25.
I don't know. To me, they're 12.
Me too,
But
actually.
anyways, and by the way, this is Rosa Katerina have joined us. This is Michael and Adam, the writers and producers of Ancient Greece Revisited. And I'll tell you, if you haven't watched the show, shame on you.
Oh, you are not.
Shame on you both if you haven't watched the show. So there's you have done probably the most interesting telling of Jason and the Argonauts.
Thank you.
I would rather watch that than any Hollywood movie.
Yeah, than the movie.
It's like, look, I enjoyed
Even though there's a bit of
all of
a
that. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would rather watch cinematically, what you and within the writing as well, what you guys have created is much more compelling than any Hollywood movie, and it touches on Campbell's themes. You know, I think and I love that too. And you know, I watched that, and I will confess something to you, but don't tell anybody. Okay, but I'll confess it just to you guys and to the internet. You know, but I interviewed the Parlapanides brothers, Floss and Charlie, who developed and produced Blood of Zeus for Netflix. Very popular show that just got renewed. And I didn't know what to ask them because they're screenwriters and they've developed this very, it's an anime show. So if you love anime, it's by Powerhouse Animation and I think it's in Korea, but it's a Netflix show. But anyway, so I interviewed them and I didn't know what questions to ask them until I watched your show, until I watched Argonautica Rhapsody. And when I watched that, I said, Campbell, you know, the hero's journey, you know, it's, and
now I'm like, that's where you got that from.
Yes, because they were like, they were looking at me like, where's this coming from? And, and I gave them the link to your show because I said, you want to know where is that?
Remember that.
Yeah, because I sent them the link to your show because I said, look, you guys got to watch this because, you know, the themes that they draw on are so universal, but they're presented in such an interesting way that I've never seen before.
So that's good. That's our first connection with Netflix. With someone
there you go.
There you go.
Now,
Well,
one degree of
you know what
separation.
would be fun? What would be really fun is if I did maybe what I can do is put a show together, like a round table, and invite them, and you know, we all have these really interesting discussions because I think there's a lot of stuff that you guys talk about that it's just presented in such a unique way that I've just never seen it done this way before. And you know, when I look at the quality of what you produce and the quality of what I produce, I'm embarrassed we're in the same space. You know,
You know, it takes much more time for us to produce an episode. But I like, you know, we talked a little bit about Joe Rogan and all these things. You know, I was a YouTube, let's say, consumer before I was a producer. So I love that space. I love podcasts, and I felt they had given me something that no other media had given me. And you know, Joe Rogan show, I just watched it and I found it very interesting. And I also admired another show called Hardcore History. And Hardcore History was more of a narration. And you know, now it's funny because it's almost like I had these marks on the screen of where I wanted the show to go, and I shot an arrow and it went in a different way in between. So looking back at what I was inspired, now it seems we're doing something very different. But originally I was inspired by these shows, and I just didn't want to do the same thing of just talking to a camera, unedited, have these weird jump cuts, maybe have some music, run for half an hour, talk whatever comes to my mind. There's value to these. There's a lot of value to these as well. But we definitely wanted to do something that would honor these stories because I did find them wonderful. You know, I'm a lover of stories. You know, I think
you've done that.
You know, it's like the world is spoken into existence somehow.
Yeah.
And I also got this inspiration for Joseph Campbell. I guess studying psychology, as I heard, is definitely touches upon mythology, and that connection there you find people like Joseph Campbell, perhaps, and then even Carl Jung is and I guess Joseph Campbell was much more popular. And with Joseph Campbell, I had an interesting, let's say, relationship because I read him very early on when I was 17, 18, blew my mind. I went on off running, as they say. I was just thinking about mythology and what it means and the symbolism and these universal patterns that he discovered. And then as I was learning more and more, I started asking more questions. At some point, perhaps I found him a little too superficial, a little too almost like pop psychology. But finally, I kind of went full circle. And when I reread them, I understood that they do have a depth, and they do have truths. It just had to be in 3 steps. First, just fascinated, then kind of, is it true? Is it? And then finally, So now I'm on my 3rd phase with Campbell. I enjoy rereading him now that I have all this experience.
Well, look, we enjoy watching your shows, Michael and Adam. You guys have just been wonderful. Before we go, because we are going to learn from Chef Panos how to make portocalopita. I'm going to get that right. Portocalopita. Portocalo. No. One word. But we are going to learn. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, just keep watching, and you're going to maybe there's something with that you can tie in one of your shows.
Yeah.
I do have a question I want to ask you that I can't right now because it will take too long. But so I'd love to have you guys back. But I want to ask you about, when was the last time you burned something you loved?
Burn.
It's like, to be creative, you got to burn things that you love to let you progress and move forward. So I want to ask you about that. But we're going to leave it till next time because I want you to answer it with me live.
Okay.
And it's kind of a teaser. But we're going to go over to Chef Panos. Do you guys want to say a few last words about where people can find you? We're going to put links in the description and all that.
Well, it's Ancient Greece Revisited, YouTube. Mainly, we have a Facebook page, and please
Instagram as well, but mainly Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, mainly Facebook and YouTube. And just to let you know, perhaps we're going to go, because there's a curfew here in Athens due to the whole lockdown measures. So we have to be at home, unfortunately.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. So
you
we're going to run.
Yeah, I understand. You guys be safe.
In private,
yeah, you guys be safe, and we appreciate so much you being here. And we're going to talk again, okay? All right, yasas.
Yasas.
Ciao, ciao.
And we are going to yasas.
Kalimera.
Finally, this is the cooking part of the show. I wanted to have them on first because I wanted they have an audience, and I kind of wanted it. So if you guys came for Ancient Greece Revisited, don't go anywhere. I can see you. I can see the counts. You stay. We're going to make something incredibly delicious, and we're going to learn about. Wait, I made this for. Yes, it's Rosa.
Chef Panos will teach us how to make a wonderful orange Greek pastry called portocalopita. Hello, Chef Panos.
There you go. Can you two introduce yourselves, please?
So I'm gonna introduce ourselves first in English, and Panos he insists Greek because, as you see in our t-shirts, it's all Greek to us, and I hope it's all Greek to you. So we insist Greek. So first of all, thanks for having us and giving this opportunity to introduce ourselves and what we are doing. My name is Stavroula. I come from Nafplio. I represent the non-profit organization, and I'm general secretary in that. The purposes of this non-profit organization is to promote the Greek culture, the Greek language, and the Greek gastronomy. Panos is the president and the chef as his specialty in this organization. And the first project, it's called the First House of Greek Food. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be there in that restaurant, let's say. It's not exactly restaurant. I'm going to explain to you later on exactly what is this. But we are in a very famous pastry shop, patisserie, in the center of Nafplio. And from those that they don't know, Nafplio is only 1.5 hours from Athens, and it's the first capital of Greece. So we are here in this patisserie shop to introduce the e-cooking class, let's say, of the Portokalopita. So,
Portokalopita. I got it now. Portokalopita. Chef, γεια σας.
Θα δεις την πορτοκαλόπιτα με κόκκινο πορτοκάλι για να είναι πιο ευχάριστη για την καρδιά.
It's the best for you.
Την ελληνική όρεξη και να έχει γευστικές μνήμες και γευστικό προορισμό.
So should I translate this, or you can do that, Bob?
Well, I think some of it, why don't you go ahead and translate? That way we can have it correct.
Actually, he said that the red oranges, it creates food memories, and it's much better for our heart. So, yeah.
Yes, in many ways. So
In many ways.
what would, maybe what we could do is, because there are so many things I want to ask you about sustainable tourism and your projects, and we want to do, one of the things we want to do with the show, and for those of you watching out there, is make sure we have the show is designed to keep people here in Greece connected with their roots, connected back to Greece, because normally we would be traveling there. We travel there every summer. So normally,
but our slogan is back to our roots.
There you go.
there you go. This is the perfect show for you then. And so, and the other part is we want to be able to help. And for us, it was two things. It's been helping restaurants and helping Greek musicians, because many times Greek musicians play in restaurants and now they can't anymore. So what we've done in the past is we've had, because we had a guest with Ancient Greece Revisited this time, we didn't include a musician on the show. But normally we'd find a musician in Athens or in Greece, somewhere in Greece, and have them come on the show. So for us, one of the things we want to do is start coming up with ways not only to draw attention, but also to raise funds for projects and things like that. And later on, we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show. But we want to continue to talk to you about the first house of Greek food and sustainability. But we should start cooking, though, because people are getting hungry.
Who's gonna cook? Who's gonna cook from you?
Well, we have a camera,
Yeah.
and we're going to put it in the kitchen, and they usually point at me. So, Katerina, this is Katerina, this is
Yes.
Rosa, and
Nice to meet you. Meeting you.
this is, and so I'm going to grab the camera.
Okay.
That is, could you grab the camera over there, and we'll maybe we'll head to the kitchen. Θα πάμε στη κουζίνα τώρα, and I'm going to raise the microphone, the sound level a little bit, so we can hear.
So
And
while
you
you're preparing to go to the kitchen, would you like to tell some things about what we do and some more
Yes.
information?
Yes,
That's a good
please.
idea.
I'm
Okay.
gonna, in fact, tell us. I'm gonna make. We have so many things here. Okay, there we go. You tell us.
Okay, before we proceed to the cooking class, and Panos will tell us the ingredients and the procedure to make the orange pie, the portokalopita, I'm gonna tell a few things about our background and our projects. So our main job, let's say, is a tourist agency. We offer experiences that they have to do with the local food and local culture and a lot of other things that you may want to check on your own later on. Our main target is to feel like local and to experience hidden gems and things that mainly locals know. So why not travelers not to feel and experience and taste things that only locals know. Our base, as I said, is in Nafplio, but we offer tours all over Peloponnese and all of Greece upon requests. So beyond that, beyond the tourist agency, we decided 3 years ago to establish a non-profit organization that the purpose is, as I said before, is to promote and preserve the local culture, the local gastronomy, and the Greek language. This place, the base of this organization is called Kefalovrissou, is a mountain village. It's a hidden paradise, I would say. It's only 1.5 hours from Athens. It has rich vegetation, fountains, river, and it has only 24 residents. That most of them, they're farmers, and they have goats and sheep. So our target is to help them and to promote what they do, their efforts. And with this way, we want to support their income. In our restaurant, the First House of Greek Food, we offer dishes, first of all, local, 0 kilometers, seasonal, and with this way, as I said, we help the farmers their income. That's from my part. As the background of Panos, we met each other 7 years ago. So first of all, we're business partners, and life partners as well. That's a small secret. Now everyone knows that. Anyway, his background of food, it has 30 years of experience of food, of Greek diet. He used to own restaurants in Germany, and he has traveled a lot in Australia and in Canada in order to provide his knowledge about the Greek food to several restaurants and other owners of restaurants. So that was the introduction, and now we can tell a few things about the portokalopita, the orange pie, and the ingredients that we're gonna use. You probably saw the announcement and the email that Bob sent to you, but I'm gonna read them. So we're gonna use 1 glass of water of sunflower oil, 1 glass of water of sugar, 4 eggs. Bob, you're here?
And I left out. You guys are going a little too fast.
Okay.
Did you put us on the screen
So
yet?
I'm gonna stop, and Bob will say the ingredients.
Okay. Yeah. Say the ingredients first, and then you can tell me what I need to do, because I'm confused about the eggs.
So you may speak a little bit louder because I hear you from a distance.
Yeah, I'm confused about the eggs. What do I do with the eggs? Oh, yeah. Τώρα έτσι το κάνουμε με το πορτοκάλι. Yes, we have Katerina's out there.
Yeah, actually, we use the skin of orange not on the inside of the filling, but at the top for the food style, let's say, of the dish.
Oh, okay.
Panos made the orange pie 2 hours ago with the owner of this pastry shop. So here you can take an idea of a presentation, let's say.
Oh my God.
It looks so good.
Now you're scaring me a little bit.
It looks good and it's tasty because I cheated. I tried already a piece. And a good idea to serve it, except like this, like a cake, is ice cream. Masticha, if you know masticha, mastic, is a perfect combination.
And we get masticha.
Έχουμε πολύ από αυτό.
And accompanied with liqueur mastica, of course.
Okay, good.
So, yes, please.
Okay, so τρίβουμε το πορτοκάλι τώρα. What else do we do next?
So first of all, we need our mixer blend to start heating our sugar with the sunflower oil.
A blender.
Yes.
Okay.
Mixer.
You can mix it.
Can I use that mixer there? I think that's too much. But
Or you can, heat the.
whisker. Can I use a whisk?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
You need a little bit more time until it melts the sugar, but why not?
It sounds really good. I'm very excited. Sounds good.
Πορτοκάλι είναι πολύ, φτάνει, μην τρέφει τόσο πολύ.
So it's enough, Panos said about the orange skin. Yes, enough.
No more.
No more.
No more. No more.
Unless you like, the strong taste of orange.
Okay, there they go.
Το σιρόπι για να παγώσει.
So Panos asked you if you have already prepared the syrup. It's good to know that.
Okay.
Ohi. Okay.
Okay.
Πάντα βγάζει, πες το πρώτα.
So while you're preparing it's good to start making the syrup at the same time.
Okay. Start making the syrup at the same time.
Okay.
Γιατί να πες του μόλις θα είναι έτοιμη, να κρυώσει να πούμε το ένα, να βάλει το άλλο.
Yeah, we need to, as you read the instructions, we need the syrup to be hot to the cold cake, or the opposite. It's the small secret, let's say, of the recipe.
You got that?
No.
Syrup must be hot.
Okay,
Or
syrup
more.
must be hot. I think I got that.
You have already, I suppose you have already the phyllo, dry phyllo in oven.
Yes,
Yeah?
I did do that. I did do that.
Okay,
I
perfect.
wonder if they can hear me now from over there. I think they should be able to. That one's on.
You know, it's very easy. If you make it the first time, then you will see how easy it is to make it. And it's perfect solution, especially now for Christmas.
So-
It's a nice idea.
With the whiskers, with the whisk, what do I put in there? To the Valamesaki.
You put first the sunflower oil and the sugar. We need 1 glass of water sugar and 1 glass of water sunflower oil. First, you start with these states, and when it melts the sugar, then we add the next ingredients. You are gonna sew at this level the procedure, or should we continue with the rest
Oh,
of
I
the
think it'll take you a minute.
Yeah, it'll take me a minute because I need to heat the sugar with water, right?
The sugar with the sunflower oil.
It just needs to
Oh.
be melted in the water.
Now I
that.
speak about the filling. If you speak about the syrup, is another one. We need 1.5 glass of water of orange juice and 1.5 glass of water sugar.
I think
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, but I guess what do I put in that bowl right there? Tita Valamesaki. Tora.
You are gonna put sunflower oil and sugar,
Okay.
and
And
start
sugar.
heating. And sugar,
And heat it. And heat it.
And you
Oh,
mix
whisk it. Whisk it. Okay.
Yeah, whisk it. Sorry, my cooking vocabulary it's not perfect.
Oh no, don't worry
No,
about it.
it's a lot better than me trying to do it in Greek.
I'm trying to learn.
Oh, so are we.
So are we. It's pretty bad. Comparative.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Let's do Greek lessons together.
Yes. We need to.
Και άμα τη θέλουν να πες τους και ατομική, μπορεί να την κάνουν ατομική σε service και να βάλουν το γλυκό πάνω.
Panos also gave the idea you can also make the orange pie as small portions, not only a big cake, but the small portions with the small forms that you can serve it, one by one.
Και στη μέση να μπαίνει το παγωτό.
Yeah, and then you can put the ice cream in the middle. You can improvise, you can do many things. So, sunflower oil and sugar. 1 and 1.
Yeah, I think we have to go.
Should I continue the procedure, or someone will do it and see step by step the procedure?
Yeah, I was just trying to. The sunflower oil we use. You're saying What does that say?
250 milliliters.
So 250 milliliters of sunflower oil? Is that what we're
Yeah,
trying to do?
it's 1 glass of water. You know, it's I don't know how much quantities you have there.
Oh, like a glass of water. So we don't
Yeah.
put water in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 1 glass of sunflower oil and 1 glass of
Sugar.
sugar?
Sugar. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, my fault.
No.
No, it's totally good. I figured it out. When you said 1 glass of water, sugar, I was like, it's going to be like a cup of sugar.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, I was saying more or less, but I understood that you were saying like put it in like what you'd put water in and then you can dump it in.
Yeah. Okay.
Πες στην Κατερίνα ότι και η μάνα σου που τη φτιάχνει παλιά Κατερίνα είναι. Γι' αυτό και λες.
I understand. Catalaveno.
You can use also brown sugar if you like, but it's a little bit more difficult to melt the brown sugar. So the white is more easy.
Definitely gonna go with the white sugar.
Maybe next time we'll do the brown sugar.
You know, I tried to make
Yeah, why not?
Did it work?
horrible. I'm not the maker of the family.
So girls, have you tried ever portokalopita or not yet?
I have, I
have
think
not.
once when I was like,
Bebe.
not a bebe, but like when I was like 13 or 14. I think I went.
And where was that? Do you remember the place that you tasted?
Yeah, I went to Greece. No, I was 16. I went to Greece to go to this Greek American camp called Ionian Village, but I stayed in Greece after. And my Yampapu were there, and I was by myself, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Chorio today in Peloponnesos. It's right by Tripoli." And we went up there, and we saw one of my tias, and she just like had it, and we just had it with coffee, like in the morning.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So now it's gonna, comes to your memory this portokalopita that you tried.
Και τώρα πες τα
Near to Tripoli, you account that this village that is located, our restaurant, is only half an hour away from Tripoli.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
For
less
next
than.
time. We're back.
Less than 13.
Yeah.
Up in the mountain.
I'm down for that.
Τώρα πες
Actually,
τα
we're going to try an apple orchard.
μακάρονο.
And Panos looks what he shows you. It's the Christmas cookies that we call it kurakedes,
Oh, I love
dipla, melomakarono. It's all made from this pastry shop that we are right now called Lamante.
Και είναι το Χριστουγέννων τα δικά
And
μας
it's
τώρα.
Christmas,
Yeah.
cookies. I suppose you know them.
Mela macarona last week.
Yeah. It turned out pretty
It
good.
turned out pretty good. I tried to make it at home after, and it did not turn out pretty good. We all know I'm not the baker.
Yeah, we're not the chefs of
I'm
this
not
show.
the baker. I can cook. I can't bake, obviously.
It's not the worst
So
thing.
you made them on your own, or you just?
I tried to follow the recipe that we did last week, like I think Tuesday at my house, and it was
Not the.
so bad.
Really?
I ended up like realizing like way after I forgot to put baking soda
No.
to make it rise. So it looked like a chip and it was just gross. So I
That's
just
normal. First time, always we forget something, and then second, third, it comes more, naturally.
We'll have to try it again.
I'll try it again. You can come over.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we'll
I'm
make
not
it
like
together,
blindly trying to do it.
Yeah. I'll catch your mistakes. You'll catch mine.
So, how's sugar going?
Awesome. Amazing. I think we got the sunflower oil and the sugar mixed. So
Okay,
do
you
we-
heat it
Go
very
ahead.
well until it melts the sugar, and then one by one we add the eggs. But first
Okay.
we need the sugar to be melted.
Yeah, it's still kind of grainy, I think.
Yeah. Όμως το βάλουμε σε φωτιά ή τίποτα? Or is it?
Okay, πρώτα,
Okay, just stir.
no. We need the fire for the syrup. Okay, now we are
Okay.
making the filling.
Okay. So now this is the filling. So we add the baking soda in here.
No, the baking soda it goes at the end with the crispy filo. Now, after the sunflower oil and sugar, we add the eggs. We have 4 eggs as ingredients. So one by one, we add the eggs.
Okay. For those of you that are following along at home, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at this.
I know eggs are in Greek, actually.
What is?
I'm absolutely stupid. My Greek still did really help me there.
Good thing you know how to say eggs.
Eggs.
Oh.
That's cute. So, are you guys team Kurambiades or team Mela Macarona for Christmas?
Again, the question, I heard about melomacarona and kurabiye, but not exactly what.
Someone commented last week that they preferred Kurambiades over Mela Macarona for Christmas.
What we prefer?
team
Yeah,
Kurambiades or team Mela Macarona?
yeah, actually both.
Yeah.
But my favorite is kurabiyes.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I do appreciate a good Mela Macarona too.
Mhm.
We're putting
Full of calories, but and Panos, you know, the melomacarona with pistachio and white chocolate. Another
Oh,
edition of melomacarona.
Did the patisserie shop make this?
Yes.
I was gonna say because we kind of messed up the shaping
Yeah, we
of a
couldn't
Mela
shape
Macarona.
it
We couldn't
right.
shape it
It was
correctly.
more like
I think you need practice.
Yeah.
Ours were like big and like floppy.
Almost like a circle.
They were pancakey
Yeah.
in size.
And also Panos mentioned that he has put also this honey with ibofais inside. Remember what is ibofais, huh? It's the food of the horse of great Alexander, according mythology. So, except sugar, he has added also this honey, which is very special one.
Wow. Oh, you have such a nice spread there. It looks so good.
I know.
Everything looks so good.
We had a good spread.
Tomorrow I need to go for jogging for extra hour after this.
Oh, I have another good question.
So Panos wants to show you.
Literally just gonna say.
Panos wants to show you something more. Actually, it was a test because first time we tried to make this sweet spoon. You know, biko kutalu, what is sweet spoon? So we made giants. You know, the bean giant
Mm-hmm.
as a sweet spoon.
Γίγαντες. Φασόλι, γίγαντες.
So it's very weird when you hear it, but when you taste it, it's like a chestnut. If you ever tried a sweet spoon of chestnut, it's similar to its flavor. So we just made it yesterday.
Oh, yes.
So you can open your mouth if you want.
Yeah.
Oh no. Open one.
Oh, that looks
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Close, you know. I really hope that this virus era, you know, to finish soon and people they can travel again and you know to return to our normal life.
I'll come.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Yeah. When we can first get on that plane, we're going to Greece. That's where
We'll
we're
just do our
going.
homework in Greece.
Yeah, exactly.
And first stop at Kefalobriso village,
Yeah.
and then Nafilo.
Yes.
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 Question. So we just added.
Okay, so we finished adding the eggs.
We finished the egg. So do we add the yogurt?
Okay. Then you add the yogurt
Okay.
with the orange skin that you grated before.
Okay.
I like that we're not. We just get to reap the benefits.
We have the talk show version.
Yes.
Of this
Yeah,
show.
but don't put too much. Don't put too much of the skin of orange because it's gonna be bitter.
No,
Just
no.
for it food.
They
It is
separate
good.
them.
Τώρα δεν πειράζει, το ρίξω την όλη.
If you put it all, it's okay.
Το γιαούρτι θα κοιτάξω.
No-
Okay, I have another cooking question.
Yes.
Bugatsa or galaktobouriko?
Ugatsa.
Galaktobouriko.
Galaktobouriko.
So what are the differences?
No, are you team Bugatsa or team galaktobouriko?
You mentioned so tasty, and desserts that you cannot say, now.
Να το έχω φτιάξει για μερίδα.
Whatever you wish is here. Whatever you wish is here. It's like a genie here. Whatever you
We should
So
also
this is galaktobouriko in a small portion, that
Να
people
βάλουμε και παγωτό επάνω
can
και είναι
buy.
για ένα
And
άτομο.
you can put some ice cream, and this is a normal portion for one person. If you ask me, it's for two, at least.
I love, and I mean love Bugatsa and galaktobouriko.
Και το γάλα πες κατσικίδι
Breakfast, lunch,
από το
dinner.
πουλιό.
Oh yeah,
That's
breakfast.
all.
What they have put inside is goat milk.
Galaktobouriko.
So we are ready with the yogurt too, as I see. Yes. Okay.
Did you guys do the yogurt?
Yeah, they finished.
Okay.
Okay. So now it's time to put the baking powder with the phyllo.
Okay.
With the phyllo that we first have baked it in oven for 10 minutes because we don't want the moisture. We want to be crispy.
They're doing
Okay.
it. Yeah.
1 teaspoon of that.
A teaspoon of baking soda.
How would you say yes or no?
And what?
Greek.
Ne,
Or
and then no
what's
is
or?
ohi.
I know
Or?
that. Yeah.
How do you say or in Greek?
Ora.
Or.
Like this or
This
that.
or that.
Just
E. Yeah, I think it is E because
Ne, I, ohi?
yeah.
That's how you say that?
Because I think that's right.
We're just
you
trying
want,
our
you
best.
want this or the other.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Θες
Because-
αυτό ή το άλλο. Θες αυτό ή το άλλο.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's right because
You're welcome.
18 when they were like getting independence.
So I see that you like the Greek language. So I'm gonna give you food for thought right now because the Greek language is my passion. The word for smart, you remember what is the word for smart? No, it's exypnos. Okay?
Exypnos.
So exypnos. It has two parts, this word. Exo, which is out, and hypnos, hypnosis, which is sleep. So if you are a smart guy, you are just awake. You are awake.
Oh!
That's the magic of the Greek language.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god. I like learning like the words of each
I have
word.
more examples to give you, but it's
I
not the time. I
understand.
think.
Oh wait, there's a question.
Oh, do you have a question?
I'm not even sure what I'm doing at this point, but I think I put the baking soda in, the eggs, the sunflower, the
Sugar.
the sugar,
Yogurt.
and it's got a good consistency.
Okay, and now it's time to put the phyllo, the cotton in pieces.
Yeah.
Phyllo.
So
we have
because I heated
Inside.
it, so now it's
Yeah.
crumbling. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Και ανακάτω θα το σιγά-σιγά.
and you mix it very slowly, Panos said.
Okay. Chef Panos, thank you.
Faristo.
Thanks a lot.
Chef Panos.
Άλλη φορά να το πάμε από εδώ μόνοι μας.
Next time you're gonna taste it here ready. he
Okay,
said.
wait. I have a question about the exohypnos.
Yeah, wait,
Exo-
can you explain it again?
In I understand that Greek also has like the feminine, masculine for like who you're talking about.
Oh, like
So
in
is it-
Spanish?
Yeah, but there's also like an it in Greek. But for when you're saying like I'm smart and I'm a girl, would it be exohypni?
Exypni.
Exypni.
Exypni?
Female.
Like the
Female is exypni. For male, exypnos.
So if I had a pencil, exypni.
So Bob, gradually now you can mix it.
okay with the thing
Yes.
or with the okay.
Yeah, we don't want to be very, liquid, but not very also hard as a body. We need to be smooth.
Ναι, αλλά όχι πολύ, όπως το κάνει τώρα, καλά το κάνει.
Yeah,
Και το ανακάτεμα
very
είναι-
correct. He puts step by step the filo inside.
Και μετά κατευθείαν να το φτιάξουμε το αυτό. Για να μην τελειώσει μέσα από το μπορεί.
Excellent. I have to remember that.
About 350 grams of filo. I suppose that you have already the quantity that you need.
Εντάξει,
I
ωραίο
feel
το
like
είναι.
they've already done it.
Κι άλλο εκεί, πες να το βάλει όλο.
So now I just want to say hi to some friends that they just text me in the phone. It's one of, how can I describe this? It's like a sister soul. She lives in California as well. It's Irini. Irini, hi. I really miss you.
Hi,
Thanks
Irini.
for your texting. And I'm going to answer you later on your personal message. I really miss you. Really, miss the moments that we spent together. And I'm happy that you are here tonight to our live first show, let's say, for a cooking class with these wonderful people that we met.
We will definitely be having you back too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yes. And I'll try to make this and not
Oh
mess it up.
yeah. That should be like our little segment, us trying to recreate,
Trying to recreate it, but
and like us actually doing it.
here.
Is it looking good?
Sorry?
Is it looking good?
Yes, a little bit more, I think. Let's put the full screen so I can see the texture.
Ωραίο. Εντάξει, μην το τρίβει πολύ, ωραίο, καλά το πάει. Ωραία,
Yeah.
ανακάτεψε το λίγο
A little bit of mixing it.
και βάλε και το άλλο για να το τελειώνει γρήγορα. Όχι, και αυτά είναι ωραίο. Προχωράει.
Okay, you can add a little bit more.
Adding more. Add more.
Ωραία, φτάνει.
Enough. You can mix it and add some more later on.
Ωραία. Ωραία, έχει δέσει και αυτό. Πες του να το ρίξει και στο φούρνο τώρα και είναι έτοιμο.
So you have preheated your oven?
Yes.
Okay.
Τι
So,
θερμά είναι το φούρνο.
ναι, είναι εντάξει. So the texture, we see it's okay.
Do we need
It's,
more?
I think it's okay. It's like the normal cakes, but a little bit more,
A little bit more.
a little bit more full body of cake.
And then
Ωραία.
stop. And then
Το παψάκι το έχει βάλει, πες του λίγο λαδάκι προς το να κολλήσει κιόλας.
So you can prepare also, Panos said, your pan with oil, so not to be sticky or cake.
Okay.
Και πες
So
τους-
how is the weather there right now?
it's like cloudy. Yesterday it was pretty sunny but very cold. But now it's just cloudy and cold. How's the weather there?
We have winter typically now. That means that it's a little bit cold, and the first snows of the mountains around us they're already here. But enough, during the day, the temperature is around 15 degrees, which is warm, a little bit cool air, and that's it. But during night, it gets much more lower.
Yeah, same with here.
Yeah. I wish we had snow here. I wish.
I don't like the snow too much.
You've lived it.
I don't live-
Everything, it's good to go in the mountains sometime to try some ski and some other sports, and then back to the sea. Variety,
Yeah,
and balance.
That's better. That's
That's
better.
the dream.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, it was my last swimming in the sea. 10 days actually, not 2 weeks here. Now it's getting colder, so I prefer just to walk and cycle, not swim.
Yeah. Yeah, when's the last
I
time?
have to look the calories from the orange pie and all these Christmas
Ωραία.
foodies.
Πες του το ταψάκι. Το άλυψε λαδάκι και αυτά εδώ.
Don't forget to put, the texture is nice of the cake. So we put some sunflower oil in our pan.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh, I can see it like on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Και να πάρει μια σπάτουλα στην πόλη, να το ρίξει εδώ μέσα να πούμε, να το στρώσεις να είναι στα ίσια.
And with your spatula of silicone, you can make it,
Όχι πολύ,
oh, it's okay.
Και λιγάκι με το χέρι με το αυτό να το μαζέψω, να το κάνει. Α, μπράβο, ωραίο.
Okay, now it's perfect.
Ωραία. Και γύρω εκεί.
Around, everywhere, okay.
Και πες του τώρα όπως το έχει το ταψάκι να ρίξει λίγο φύλλο από κάτω.
Σκέτο.
Ναι, όπως είναι.
So Panos suggests to put some extra filo before the filling.
Από κάτω.
Yes, at the bottom of the pan. Yes.
Έτσι, τρίφτο.
But you have to
Yes.
cut it in small pieces. Cut it in small pieces, like a first layer, let's say.
Αυτός είσαι.
Perfect.
Εκεί. Και τώρα ρίχνω εκεί πέρα γιατί και πρέπει να με το πάει. Ωραία, φτάνει.
Okay, it's enough.
It's enough.
Enough.
Ωραία.
Enough. Now you
Ωραία.
put the
Και
filling.
τώρα πρέπει να ρίξει επάνω. Αφού κάνει πρώτα πώς το πρώτα να το σταυρώσει το ταψάκι, πες του. Όπως κάνουμε, πες του να το
So we
σταυρώσει.
normally make the cross in the
Κάνε το
pan.
σταυρό σου.
So in order God to bless our food. If you want, you can make the cross.
Για να
If
το
you don't
βάλεις
want,
έτσι, μπράβο,
in
το
the pan.
ταψάκι, το
Into the
ταψάκι.
pan.
Να δώσεις την ενέργειά σου, πες του.
It's the customs that we have.
Έτσι, μπράβο, αυτό.
Now
Αυτό.
Panos is very happy you see him.
Ωραία. Και ρίχνω τώρα μέσα.
Okay,
με τη
now
σπάτουλα
enough with
και
the
φτιάχνω
extra
ωραίο.
filo in the pan. Now it's time to put the filling.
Ωραία. Ρίχνω τώρα μέσα με τη
Yes.
σπάτουλα. Και αν έχει πέσει τη σπάτουλα της συνοικότητας, να το
Αυτό
φτιάξει
βάλω
όλο.
μέσα.
That's okay. If you don't have a spatula, yes, with this. Yes,
Ρίχνω,
yes,
ρίχνω.
yes.
Και βάλε δάχτυλο πες του μέσα. Βάλει το δάχτυλο έτσι γύρω-γύρω.
You can put your finger as well. We don't have any problem with that. For the last,
Yeah.
quantities
The last
of the ball.
The bits.
Όλο ρίχνω πες του. Βγάλε το σύρμα. Και μην το φοβάται έτσι. Γι' αυτό βάλει το δάχτυλο και βάλει το χέρι.
The
γύρω-γύρω.
texture, it seems very nice.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Και τώρα το αφήνει έτσι 5 λεπτά λίγο
Για να κάτσει, βάζει
Yeah.
αυτό εδώ.
So normally now we just leave it for 5 minutes until the filo absorbs the liquid, and then we put it in the oven.
Okay.
So now it's time to make our syrup until we wait to put our pan in oven. So for the syrup, we have 1.5 glass of water orange juice. Again, the same, it's the way that we measure the quantities. And 1.5 glass of water of sugar. And with the skin of orange,
Of the orange juice and one
Και στο
of
σιρόπι
the
πίσω,
sugar.
άμα θα κόψει έτσι τα πορτοκάλια, μέσα στο σιρόπι, να το φτιάξει και μετά πάνω να το ζευγοράει όπως έχουμε φτιάξει αυτό.
ωραία.
Να
So
βάζει-
another idea, Panos said that you can cut a slice of oranges like this, and you can boil them with your syrup.
και να φτιάξει μετά εδώ
And
πάνω.
at the end, when it's ready the cake, put it on top for the food style,
And
to
then
decorate.
oranges. So you're gonna put the oranges, like sliced oranges, into the pan, and then you can put them on top of the cake after.
Και αν θέλει πέρυσι και το κόβει πάλι λίγο στην άκρη, φτιάχνει τα ντεκόρ που γίνεται ένα ωραίο, δεν έχει ωραίο.
And also, except the orange juice and the sugar, we can put a little bit of cinnamon inside of the syrup.
Okay.
If you have the stick, otherwise the powder, whatever you have.
Okay. Also, Aurora, put cinnamon.
Okay, and also
A stick. How many sticks?
Just one for the flavor.
Cinnamon.
Ένα κομμάτι
No,
δώσε
no,
να σου.
no.
Okay. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I've never had this before, so.
Send us a small video while you are tasting the orange cake, the portocalopita.
Try.
Do that.
We will. So excited. Oh, my stomach is like already. It's ready.
I don't eat before coming here because I know that the food's gonna be so good and I'm gonna want so much of it.
So, μόλις έρθετε εδώ, ο Τάσος φτιάχνει ένα καλό παρφέ. Το καλύτερο παρφέ παγωτό.
Come here. He's a little bit of shy, but it's okay. So he said, Panos said that when you come in Nafplio and you come and visit this place, you have to try his parfait ice cream. You know what is parfait?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really tasty, really nostimo. One of the things that you should try. There are many things. So as long as you stay, you will try.
I will.
We should. I'm so down.
So right now it's supposed to be in our houses, because of the COVID. 9 p.m. It's forbidden to go, out. So we are just 10 minutes away from our homes. I hope not to meet the police.
Yeah. We had that curfew here.
Yeah.
And it was 10 p.m., but no one followed it, so they took it away.
Yeah.
So here it's very restrict, all these things, and police, they can wait you in every corner in order to check, everything, your papers, your ID, why you are, late outside, if it is, it's very restrict, and they give tickets. The tickets is, if I remember well, 300 euros.
So
per person.
Economidu asks, what is a parfait?
Δεν έχει πάρει τα πορτοκάλια, να κόψεις έτσι πορτοκάλια.
So Panos said before that it's a good idea to slice your orange like this in small pieces and to put it in your pot while you make the syrup in order to put it at the top of your cake, just for decor.
Perfect.
Και decor και νόστιμο, γιατί θα είναι με τη ζάχαρη. Μπράβο, αυτός. Ωραία.
Perfect.
So,
και θα κάνει και το ντεκοράκι το πάνω στο γλυκό και θα είναι ωραίο για το μάτι.
So in just 5 minutes, you can put your cake in your oven now, I think.
Okay.
So Katie Economidu asks, what's a parfait?
What is a parfait? Tassos, can you tell us the ingredients of your parfait? Actually, it's an ice cream, but it has specific ingredients inside. Να μεταφράζω εγώ.
Να φέρω εγώ να μου το δείξω. Κάτσε να βάλω εγώ εδώ πάνω.
Panos, he's gonna bring you a little bit of the ice cream of parfait to see the texture, but also Tassos will explain us what is inside.
Είναι ένα παγωτό το οποίο φτιάχνεται με κρόκους αυγού, οι οποίοι ψήνονται με καραμέλα. Η καραμέλα είναι στους 110 βαθμούς και πέφτει πολύ σιγά σιγά.
Okay, slowly. And I'm gonna ask your help now. So they use the orange part of egg. How you call that? Not the whole egg.
The yolk.
Όχι απλά delicious, δεν μπορείς να το καταλάβεις. Κοίτα το κερασάκι επάνω, το αυγουλάκι. Μην το κάνεις, το ρίξεις όλο πάνω έτσι.
So we use this, the part of egg, how you call it again? I forgot it.
The yellow part?
The orange part. Yeah?
It's called a yolk.
The yolk. Μετά, εκτός από τον τρόπο, τι είπες?
Ρίχνουμε μέσα νερό με ζάχαρη.
They put water and sugar inside.
Το ψήνουμε.
They bake it.
Και το ρίχνουμε μέσα στον κρόκο του αυγού πολύ σιγά για να μην καεί ο κρόκος. Πολύ σιγά.
But they are very carefully in order not to burn the egg. And then you add some fruits.
Μετά βάζουμε κρέμα γάλακτος.
You put.
Ανακατεύουμε με κρέμα γάλακτος.
How is the cream? Bob, κρέμα γάλακτος. Help me, I'm not good in that.
Crema is the cream of something. Hey, internet.
Cream of milk, but with a lot of fat.
Cream and milk.
Whipping cream?
Yeah, like heavy whipping
Heavy
cream.
whipping cream, the thick milk?
Yeah, heavy whipping cream.
I think it's
Yes.
heavy whipping cream.
Egg. Oh,
Okay.
wait.
And,
I'm gonna send you later on all the ingredients, so in order to people to get know
Okay.
better the recipe.
Well, how long do we put it in the oven?
How long you put? Sorry.
Sto forno, posso...
We bake it for 40 minutes in 200
for 40 minutes.
Celsius. That is about 300 something Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's fine.
ενώνουμε τα δύο υλικά, τη κρέμα γάλακτος του πάμε και το ψημένο κρόκο.
We connect the ingredients of the egg, sugar, and the cream, and then
Και προσθέτουμε αμύγδαλο και φρούτα.
and we add some almonds and fruits, dry fruits.
Wow.
We're definitely getting that for breakfast.
Okay. Τώρα ζηλεύουμε.
What?
Τώρα ζηλεύουμε εμείς.
Βλέπετε και εμείς εδώ που τα έχουμε
Γιατί δεν
μπροστά.
είμαστε εκεί. Πρέπει να είμαστε όλοι μαζί να τα φάμε αυτά.
Okay, we promise you when you come here, you're gonna taste all of them.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes, we're so
But
happy.
don't complain after that so much calories and you will try all of them.
No, we don't care about calories here. We're calorie
Friendly.
plus zone. We're
Και το
friendly.
γάλα θα αρμέξουμε και τα γίδια και το τυρί το βάζουμε στα 1700 μέτρα μέσα σε σπηλιές. Και τα κρασιά πάλι δικά μας οργάνικα.
So right now describes what are you going to do up to the village. You are gonna try to milk the animals, the goats. And
Yes,
I'm so
I want to
down.
do that.
I'm so down.
you are gonna try the cheese that it's our new project actually. It's caves up to the village. They have some caves that in old times the shepherds they used to mature their cheese. So inside of these caves we want to revival again these things. So the cheese tastings they're gonna be up there. So that means that you are gonna you're gonna lead you with a pickup truck there, and then you're gonna walk a little bit. So
I am
Well,
so down.
just like the two of us.
I
just
will
like
milk any animal.
any.
Any
Yes.
animal.
Once. Milks a cow once.
I want to milk a sheep or
Yeah.
a goat so bad.
Let's get some goat milk.
it's very nice experience. I have tried, and we offer also this program, Be a Shepherd for a Day. This is the title of our program. And I can tell that people, they're very excited, especially the kids, when you're very close to this farm and the society, let's say, of the animals, and to see also how much work and how hard work is for the farmers. You appreciate things better, It's something that you have to try, definitely.
That sounds lovely.
Make a list. When I go to Greece, I have to try the buffet of Tassos. Then I have to milk goats. Then I have to do this. Make a list from now.
Ωραία, θα φτιάξετε τη λίστα και το Σεπτέμβρη θα έρθετε όλοι μαζί, θα πατήσουμε στα φύλλα, θα φτιάξουμε τσίπουρο και μουσταλευριά και θα συνεχίζουμε όλη τη σεζόν.
Another thing to put in your list on September, if it's possible to fly, and the flights are open again. It's the harvest period of grapes here, so we are gonna make with berry food the juice of the grapes, and then we're gonna make with this juice famous dessert. We call it mustalevria. Generations and generations grew up with this recipe, and of course to taste wine and to walk through the vineyards or cider or whatever you want.
Τολμαδάκια, αμπελόφυλλα, θα φτιάξουμε τολμάδες.
With the leaf of grapes that you put rice.
Θα φτιάξουμε γλυκό σταφύλι
Or
από
sweet
σταφίδα.
spoon of grapes, another idea. So many things.
Όρεξη να έχετε και να έρθετε εδώ πέρα να δείτε τι ωραία που θα σας βάλουμε να δουλεύετε.
Keep your appetite and don't worry, you're gonna work really hard to gain all those things.
No, that sounds amazing.
So what is going on with the syrup? I don't see to boil it. You need someone.
Right.
I don't know if the stove's on.
So forgot it. I was sure for that.
Θα το κάψουμε το φαγητό.
To be fair,
Not
we're not
very fun of it.
Yeah, sorry, we're the talk show version of
Yeah.
the show.
Okay, the stove was on, but it wasn't on very high, so she turned it up a little.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so when melts,
Does it need
you
to be
can
boiled?
try a little bit to see if it is okay.
You probably get
Yeah,
a
you can
thick
try
in it.
some.
Go try some. Just
Okay. I mean, tell me to eat, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Έχει ένα κόλπο για να το βάζει μέσα όταν το βάλει αυτό εδώ και το τρυπήσει
Ναι, είναι
και δεν
στενό.
κολλήσει.
Okay. So a trick to be sure that your cake, whatever cake you make is ready, you can just put your knife inside of the cake, and if it is dry without any liquid or anything in the knife, that means that it's ready, and bake it correctly.
Perfect.
I'm very excited.
I'm so excited. Like I said, I haven't had this before, so very high hopes.
I have high hopes.
Don't forget to send us the video.
Yes, we will.
will.
We will. We're gonna send her a video of us tasting it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I'm sorry it
Takes so long.
it takes so long. We don't want to keep you, but do you want to say anything else about the restaurants, the organization? Maybe tell us a little bit about the pastry shop you're at, then your restaurant, then your organization, and we will have you on again.
Yes.
That's for sure, because we want also to participate in other shows or other
Yeah.
things that you may want to organize.
Yes.
You're wonderful people, and I don't think that it was by accident, this meeting, because first I saw the post in Facebook, then we called George, and then this call lasted 3 days because we had a lot of common things to tell and a lot of, common plans, let's say, because we all love Greece, we all love the Greek food, and we want to share it. That's the main target, to share it. So I don't know, there are a lot of things that I want to say, how much time we have, and so
As much time as you want. I'm going to put you up just so we can just see you and your team there. And then now you tell us. I must be, λέγεται.
Okay, so θέλει να πούμε μερικά
Εγώ
πράγματα
θέλω
για τον
να του πω
οργανισμό, για
2
το χωριό
λεπτά.
και μετά
Ναι, εγώ θα
κοιτάσουμε
του
το-
πω όμως κάτι άλλο τώρα. Κάτσε εσύ, κάτσε, δεν με πειράζει.
They're fighting
Εγώ
for the chair
θέλω
now.
να σου πω άλλο ένα, ότι πρέπει να κάνουμε, εφόσον είναι και από την Τρίπολη, το κλέφτικο το κολοκοτρονέικο, γιατί τώρα έχουμε και το 1821. Άρα πάμε 200 χρόνια Αρκαδία. Θα πάμε, θα σκάψουμε τώρα που θα ανοίξει ο καιρός και θα φτιάξουμε το γνήσιο το κολοκοτρονέικο, το κατσίκι. Εκεί θα
Okay,
το κάνουμε όμως το κεφαλόβρυσο.
That's a little bit hard to translate, but of course you know.
No, I make it at my house γιατί έχω φούρνο έξω με ξύλα που έχω. Το κάνω, θέλω να δω πώς εσύ το κάνεις, το κανονικό. I want to see the right way to make it.
Θα σκάψουμε στο φούρνο από κάτω και θα βάλουμε πάνω τα ξύλα μέσα στο τομάρι. Αυτό είναι το κολοκοτρονέικο.
Okay, so people, to understand what we're talking about, the kleftiko is a way that the, let's say, old soldiers and people that they are living in the mountains, I think that you call them rebels, in order to hide from the enemy, they had to eat, they had to cook. So if they lighted a fire, this would be obvious to the enemy. So what they did, they dig it a hole in the ground. They use the whole leather skin of a goat, let's say, and inside they put woods. They light a fire, and then they put it the meat, and then they covered by ground. So during the day they were out, they were fighting, and at the end of the day they uncovered the ground and the meat was ready. So this is the kleftiko. Kleftis is the thief, actually, but it's the way that we call it. I don't know if you understand the whole procedure. Is that clear?
Και το κυριότερο το κάνανε αυτό, γιατί όταν ήταν η ομάδα που ήταν στο βουνό, το βάζανε και αφού βλέπανε, σβήνανε τη φωτιά, φεύγανε.
Yeah, Panos explained the same in Greek. So I don't want to tell you more things about what we are doing. I think the most important thing is to meet in person and to live the experience of all those that we describe. Keep in mind that, as I said, our target is to promote the Greek language, the Greek culture, and the Greek food, and we would like just to share it, because knowledge and feelings that you don't share, they get lost. That's my life slogan, and actually we really love what we do, and this is the most important thing, and people, they can feel it, and at the end we are all, let's say, new friends, because the Greek word philoxenia, it means that you become friends with a stranger. Philos is a friend and xenos is a stranger. So this includes the whole philosophy, and it says it all with one phrase. You can read the reviews of TripAdvisor, you can read the text, whatever we have in our websites. It's grecopaths.org and grecopaths.gr. And Tassos here, if he wants to share something, I'm going to translate it. Αν θες να πεις κάτι για την εκκλησία σου και κάτι θα σου πεις να μοιραστείς.
Εγώ θέλω να πει για τα οργανικά.
Να πω ότι είσαι καλλιεργητής.
Ναι, ότι έχουμε μικρό αγρόκτημα, κάνουμε συγκεκριμένα ό,τι παράγει το αγρόκτημα, το τυποποιούμε και τα υπόλοιπα το τυποποιούμε.
So except Tassos that his family owns a pastry shop here in Nafplio and in Argos, which is a nearby city just 12 kilometers. That means 30 minutes drive. They are also farmers. They cultivate olive trees, and they produce extra virgin oil and olives. And this Hypophaes, the herb, the tree, let's say, of Hypophaes, that they put it in chocolates and in their honey.
Μικρές ποσότητες.
They have very few quantities.
Και έχουμε και τη διεύθυνση στο email που μπορούν να δουν και τα προϊόντα μας και τα προϊόντα.
You can also Google their web address and to see whatever they have inside. www.lamande.gr. Okay. Aurora Thanasopoulos Farm is the brand. I'm gonna send everything.
Yes, please. Παρακαλώ να μας τα στείλετε όλα, γιατί θέλουμε να το βάλουμε, γιατί οι πιο πολλοί που θα το δούνε, το βίντεο, θα το δούνε ύστερα. Τώρα 100 άτομα, όχι, 800 people. 100 έχουν δει. Τώρα μόλις θα το βάλουμε, θα είναι στα 10.000, κάτι έτσι θα το δούνε. Να μας τα στέλνει όλα, να τα βάλουμε και να ξέρουν πού μπορούν να πάνε να αγοράσουν τα γλυκά, πού μπορούν να πάνε να φάνε και το first house of Greek food κιόλας. Okay?
Ναι, αλλά δεν θέλουμε πού θα αγοράσουν, θέλουμε πώς θα περάσουμε καλά. Όταν λέει αν δίνετε, δωρεάν λάβετε. Θέλουμε να περάσουμε καλά και αν δεν τους αρέσει να μην πάρουν ποτέ τίποτα. Θέλουμε να είμαστε όλοι μαζί.
Αυτό είναι. We all want to be together. Όλοι θέλουμε να είμαστε όλοι μαζί.
Μόνο η πώληση.
Κοίτα, να σας πω, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ που μας έφυσες μέσα στην κουζίνα σας.
The syrup is okay. The syrup is okay.
Και γύρισε την κουτάλα πάνω και βλέπει τη σταγόνα πώς πάει. Πες του να σηκώσει την κουτάλα και βλέπει τη σταγόνα μας και πάει επάνω.
Can you get the drop?
Turn off the syrup.
Yeah.
Έτσι, μπράβο.
Oh, you're so deaf. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget to put it when the cake is cold, while the syrup is still warm. Okay? We need almost it.
Yeah. Okay.
So thanks once more a lot. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. We wish you to have Merry Christmas with health and love and whatever your soul wishes, and we can't wait for another e-meeting or in-cooperation or whatever it comes.
Well, εμείς ευχαριστούμε που μας κάλεσες μέσα στη κουζίνα σας. Thank you for letting us into your kitchen. Και με τη φιλοξενία μας είμαστε πολύ ευχαριστημένοι και να έχετε καλή Χριστούγεννα. Και εμείς, άμα θέλετε να το δείτε το show next week,
Okay.
decorate το βάρκα. Το βάρκα, θα κάνουμε το decoration.
Wow, τέλεια!
Okay? So that's next week.
Okay, we will be there.
Okay.
Το επόμενο, αφού είσαι από Κρήτη και Πελοπόννησο, θα φτιάξουμε στους δρόμους του Μίνωα και του Πέλοπα. Μέσα σε αρχαίους.
Next project, to combine Minoan
Next
and my
project, creating companies.
with potteries and cooked on fire and ancient Greek recipes and all this. Bob, you have to organize this Minoan Mycenaean symposium up to the
Oh my
village.
God, you're so right.
Αυτό είναι το νούμερο ένα που θα στήσουμε.
We're going to do, I want to do kind of a longer form. Δεν ξέρω πώς να το εξηγήσω στα ελληνικά, όμως θα σας πω ότι θέλω να κάνω ένα fundraiser for an orphanage. Και θέλω να κάνω κάτι για 5 ώρες, να είμαστε όλοι μαζί και να have people donate money.
We are in.
Έκανα στην ολόκληρο χωριό.
Ναι,
Έκανα στην Κρήτη.
να το μιλήσουμε αυτό για μια ώρα, θα ήταν πολύ ωραίο.
We are in. Whenever you want, we can speak for more with more details. And,
Okay. Well, ευχαριστούμε, θα σας αφήσουμε ξανά.
ευχαριστούμε και εμείς.
How happy we are we've met you. And,
We will be back.
Yes. And for everybody who's watching, stay tuned for a few minutes. We want to talk to you about what's coming up. And yes, us.
Γεια σας!
Yes.
Καληνύχτα, καλημέρα.
Και την επόμενη φορά σκεφτείτε τι θέλετε και εμείς θα το κάνουμε.
Ωραία. Μπράβο, μπράβο.
Κάθε επιθυμία σου, όχι διαταγή, ευχαρίστησή μας.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Να είστε καλά. Γεια σας.
Γεια σας, γεια.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching us. Hey, what a great show we had today. Last week, look at the diversity of our show. It's kind of a diversity of thought, because last week we did a show, basically the host of The Bachelor and all of that. And then this week, it's really, when we did The Bachelor, we did some cooking, but this week we did a show with Ancient Greece Revisited, the creators of that show. And it was kind of more philosophical, more psychological, it was just incredible. If you're tuning in now, I hope you guys, watch the show later when it posts and you catch them as well. Working with Stavroula and Chef Panos on the sustainability of Greek tourism. We're going to do a show almost dedicated to that, because I want to really talk about it. And I want to start doing shows about not just the end product, which is the cooking, but also, how do they process the olives? How do they, how do they make the yogurt? Things like that. So we're going to do that. But I want to share with you what's coming up next couple of weeks. Next week is going to be our Christmas episode, which is the 19th. Yes!
I love Christmas.
We'll open up some gifts on our Christmas episode, but we're going to decorate
The karavi.
Which is customary in Greece, is to decorate that. And so we're going to spend some time decorating the karavi. And after that, we're going to make some big announcements. It'll be a midweek show with a special guest, a lovely singer that's been on the show before, but she's actually just an absolute delight. So we're going to organize a fundraiser for an orphanage in Athens. So we're going to put the money is collected here in the US and then it's transferred over. This has been going on for, I think, like 20 years, 25 years. Unfortunately, it usually involves a dinner dance here, and then the money is put together and sent over. We'd sure like to do a fundraiser and get some money over to this orphanage over before Christmas, so we can get some gifts to them and things like that. So I hope you join us for all of that in the coming weeks. But for now, hey, do you guys have anything you want to share, or should we go into?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Kalosas
Vrikame! Yasas!
Yes.
And